TrueCar.com/trade today. The Orlando Magic have signed free agent center Mo Spates. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set, bring it.
Just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Columbia. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back at it once again. 316 Greystone Boulevard. Fast-paced, action-packed, hurry-up, no-huddle sports talk programming. Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, heard around the world on the iHeart Radio application. Download it today free. The Clemson Sports Talk app also free. Hanging out with you here each and every evening. Phone lines may or may not be working. I believe, did we get those ironed out before the show ended yesterday? I think we did, so I'm hopeful on that front. Lowell, the intern, in the building. Zach Lentz, probably tickling the keys somewhere right now, writing some incredible article for ClemsonSportsTalk.com as the future is bright for the hashtag CS Takeover. Without further ado, he is white polo wearing with a paw upon his person. He is none other than Lowell the intern. Lowell, what's going on, my man?
Bada boom, realest champs in the room. How you doing?
I'm good, grinding always, and glad to be back with our listeners. Obviously, I know we have a plethora of topics to get into here, and Lowell, I don't know if I sparked it with my post that I sent you last night, but you have a bit of revisionist history here lined up for the show today. You've been taking a bigger portion of the program under your wing. You've been doing a little bit more of the day-to-day operations and the undercard, so to speak, of the program. You're making sure that those segments are laid out, and you got a little weepy thinking back to 2007 and just couldn't help when I walked in today going, Swanee, we got to flashback. We got to turn back the clock. It's July 27th, 2007, and let's talk about how crazy that upcoming season would be in the world of college football, and we'll absolutely get into some of that for you here on Clemson Sports Talk on Fox Sports Radio, iHeart Radio, and live over on our website. That's ClemsonSportsTalk.com. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. And, of course, the Ocean Reef Resort text line. Brought to you by our friends at the Ocean Reef Resort in sunny, funny Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Yesterday, we talked a good bit about DeCarrion Joyner's comments about the fact that he was never going to lose to Clemson as the starting quarterback, and that could happen in a multitude of ways. One, he could never lose to Clemson as the starting quarterback, or two, he could never be the starting quarterback and still lose to Clemson, but technically never lose as the starting quarterback. We'll see how that plays out over the next several years. Joyner with another year of high school there at Fort Dorchester in the northern side of Charleston. We also found out yesterday that Zach Lentz needs to either A, spend some time with some high-quality DVDs of the Star Wars trilogies, plural form, or B, at least jump on Wikipedia, as I did, to read through the Poltergeist films because I had forgotten them. Well, Zach, yesterday with his brilliant Obi-Wan Kenobi or whatever.
Kenobi, I think it was.
Oh, it was horrible. It's over on social media, by the way, at Clemson Sports. I tweeted it out. Lowell, did you get a chance to watch the replay of that video today on social media?
Oh, no, but I'm going to go look now.
Oh, listen, you need to. Matter of fact, I'm not sure why you don't have that thing run up to your machine already over there, your Google machine, and pipe that audio in and hit the people with it. That's, you know what? Matter of fact, executive producer Rob Sanders is still here. We'll talk to Rob. Well, don't worry about it, Lo. We'll talk to Rob. We'll get that audio up before the show because I've got the whole piece of the pie for everybody over there on social media at Clemson Sports. But 2007 is a topic. Today we've got Clemson Tom coming on the program, and if you're saying to yourself, Swanee, why are we throwing it back to 2007 here on Clemson Sports Talk? It's pretty easy. That season may have been one of the most ridiculous seasons, if not the most ridiculous season in the history of college football. Certainly the most ridiculous in terms of the BCS era of college football. And some of the teams that you had teetering at the top of college football, basically college football was standing on its head. I don't know another way to say it. 2007 was just a different bird in terms of the college football year.
Yeah, Kansas and Rutgers were top 10 teams in 2007. It was a little weird.
Not only that, for South Carolina fans, it was a painful year, and we'll talk about this coming up in a little bit, as the Gamecocks went from being ranked, number 6 in America to finishing their season at 6-6, and the Gamecocks were really riding high early on in that year, felt good about things. They'd won over in Georgia, so this 2007 season also was unique when you look back on the fact that you had this LSU team that had multiple losses in triple overtime, right, Lowell, on their schedule, if I remember correctly. Triple overtime losses, and still get into the BCS and ultimately bring home a national championship for LSU. Just crazy things. They lost to Arkansas in triple overtime. They lost to Kentucky in triple overtime.
Yeah, Kentucky, another top 10 team in 2007, by the way.
So there you go. So just a lot of things going on back in 2007 that really you didn't see too often. And if you've forgotten this moment as well, you go back to LSU's matchup against South Carolina. That was the Gamecocks' loss in their 6-1 start to the season. That was the one blemish that they had on their schedule. And LSU's coach Les Miles ran a fake field goal reminiscent of the one that Clemson and Tommy Bowden had dialed up just a few years prior down in their matchup against Miami. I want to say that game against Miami was either 2004 or 2005.
2004, because Clemson played at Miami in 2004. 2005, they lost in overtime to Miami.
In Clemson. Oh, the pain of that one. Charlie Whitehurst had a receiver, a tight end,
like
wide
three
open.
guys open in the end zone. Yeah,
that was a
not
tough
great.
One. Not great, Bob.
No,
not great. But going back to that game, that was one of those fake field goals. Who was the kicker for Clemson in 2004? Was that Jad Dean? Who got that little pitch over the shoulder? But it's the one where the holder gets the ball and kind of flips it, no-look pass style, a la Magic Johnson, a la the big baller brand. You guys know what I'm talking about. Lowell's taking a look.
It looks like it would have been Jad Dean.
Jad Dean. If we could get Jad on the program, I'd like to know what his 40 time was back then, about a 6'5" 40.
He got the edge pretty quick.
he also had a 15-yard face mask penalty on the play, I believe.
I believe so.
Tacked on there. So yeah, it was just a crazy, crazy season. Matter of fact, I remember vividly that Missouri-Kansas game right at the end of the season. I think, was that the last game of the regular season for those two teams, Missouri and Kansas, back in 2007? Because Clemson and South Carolina played that night.
It was number 2 Kansas versus number 4 Missouri on November 24, 2007.
So that would have been the same day that Clemson and South Carolina played, because I can remember being in traffic after the Clemson-South Carolina game, and this was before you had the ability to stream live on your mobile device, but there were still enough people out with DirecTV or Dish Network or whatever tailgate setups people had 15 years ago, watching games on, no, wait for it, not a flat screen. No. This is that ginormous 32-inch TV that you probably still have somewhere in your house upstairs because either A, you can't get it out of your house, or B, you're not willing to get it out of your house. It's one of the ones that are no longer accepted at any place you try to take them. You try to take one of those old tube televisions to a place like his house, not interested. You want to take it to the dump? Not interested. As a matter of fact, I think the only way you can properly dispose of, and this is not the proper way, I'm sure, of a television in this day and age is what they used to call the mafioso style, I guess you'd say, Lowell. You got to go all Tony Soprano on this thing, all Dexter on this thing. You got to drive your 32-inch TV out in the middle of a lake or something and throw it out because nobody's accepting those things. By the way, we do not encourage that behavior, but I just want to make the statement that I don't know what you're supposed to do with that TV. What are you supposed to do with those old television sets, Lowe's? You know the ones I'm talking about. They weigh about 475 pounds. That thing right there, that's probably a what would you say? That's a 24-inch maybe that we've got here in studio. You ever tried to move that bad boy? You ever lifted that? You ever lifted that?
It looks heavy, though.
Go ahead and muscle up, Hercules. Let's see how you do with it.
No, I'm good.
I mean, it's pretty funny because now you can carry a 70-inch TV in one hand like you're carrying a tray of drinks out to a table like you're a waiter. You try to scoop that thing up over there, no siree. But nonetheless, I remember vividly leaving the South Carolina Clemson game. There were enough televisions set up along our route, and traffic was moving slow enough that I was able to actually watch the game at the different tailgate spots while we drove away from that one. And again, just an insane, crazy year in the world of college football. And Lowell, I know you said that there was, I believe, who was it, SB Nation, that's going through and breaking this thing down extensively.
Yeah, they have like 20, 30 articles up right now about the 2007 football season.
And the thing about it is there were a lot of moments that happened during that 2007 season that perhaps a lot of people forgot about.
Well, it's funny. I remember most of the things that they're talking about. I don't remember them all happening in one football season.
Right, and I guess that's the broader point that I was trying to make, that point that, look, you remember these moments, but you fail to remember that these moments happened in the same year. Going back to the fact that West Virginia had a chance to get themselves into the BCS championship game potentially. All they had to do, right, it was the backyard brawl against Pitt. That's all they had to do was beat Pitt. This was Pat White. This was Rich Rodriguez.
That West Virginia team was loaded.
Incredible offense. And they would do some of the things that Clemson has since done, where they'll have the offensive lineman, they'll snap the ball, and the offensive line wouldn't move like Clemson did against Miami a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden players are running by the offensive lineman, and then you've got the screen pass set up. That game happened. We mentioned that Kansas-Missouri game. So many wacky moments in college football. But maybe one of the wackiest, the facts that Les Miles and LSU found a way to get and win a national championship still with two losses. Two losses on the schedule, both of which were in triple overtime games, and yet get there and win it all. So many just nutty moments. Matter of fact, and I think this is one as well, and Lowell, you may have to fact check me on this, but I'm thinking about, remember yesterday we were talking about Les Miles a little bit, and we talked about his poor clock management. I believe 2007 was also the season where they were playing against Auburn, and the clock is running down either right at the end of regulation, something happened there, and he throws the ball to the end zone. They just heave the ball to the end zone and catch a touchdown. Now, that may not have been 2000.
Here it is.
Okay.
LSU had 3:13 left and put themselves in position to kick a game-winning field goal on Auburn's 22-yard line. However, with a chance to make a kick and a timeout, Les Miles chose to gamble and go for a touchdown. Matt Flynn hit Demetrius Byrd for 22 yards.
How much time was left in the game at that point?
3:13.
Oh, that much time was left?
That's what it says.
What? Hold on. Was it fourth down?
Doesn't say.
It had to be fourth down, Lowell, because why would I remember that? It would have just been a touchdown pass. I think they had the field goal, a legitimate chip shot field goal, basically, to take the lead. You got to go back and double-check that for me, because I'm almost 100% positive that was a fourth down play where he chose not to kick and instead went for the touchdown. They threw the ball to the left corner of the end zone. And I remember everybody thinking, what are you doing? All you had to do was kick the field goal and you win this game. I think that was the same season. Because that year, 2007, out of all the wackadoo things that were going on.
Oh, okay. Here's where I got confused.
Okay.
This said LSU had the ball with 3:13 left, and then they put themselves in position to kick the field goal. They caught the touchdown with 1 second left on the clock.
There we go. That's okay.
3rd and 7. I'm watching now. 3rd and 7. Clock is rolling. We're down to 10. Matt Flynn takes a snap at 8. Drops back, 7-6, releases the pass, 5-4-3, touchdown.
Yeah, that was one of his mismanagements that actually worked out.
And, every gamble, and this is in one of the articles too, but every gamble Les Miles took that year worked.
Paid off.
Every single time. Even if it was really not smart, like throwing for the end zone when you can kick a field goal with 6 seconds left, they caught the touchdown. They run the fake field goal against South Carolina. It's perfect. Every time he took a chance that year, it worked. That's what got him this year got him the Mad Hatter nickname.
Well, I can tell you this. It was a mad, wild, and crazy college football season back in 2007. There's no doubt about that. 803-978-1832 is the number if you want to be a part of the program. We'd love to have you. 803-978-1832.
We haven't even gotten into really all the upsets yet.
No. Can you give us just a tease? We got a few minutes, Lowell. Can you tease some of those or talk to us about some of them?
Well, would you like to remember what the biggest upset of that year was, or should we save that for later and talk about
the biggest upset
of 2007? Quite possibly the biggest upset in college football history.
Sure, I know that one. That would be App State.
App State over Michigan
in the big house.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one that App State hadn't lived down yet. Matter of fact, I heard Scott Satterfield, head coach of the Mountaineers, on the radio the other day, and he said that they don't get a chance to surprise anybody anymore, even though it's been 10 years, simply because of that game. Because no matter who they play, the coach is inevitably going to show them winning at Michigan and go, you can't take these guys lightly.
There's a whole different article about all the upsets. So we'll leave that little teaser in there, App State over Michigan, and we'll talk about some of the other ones.
Yeah, App State over Michigan, I that is one of the greatest calls, I think, just by look, I'm gonna be honest about something. This is no offense to the guys that made the call. I think we even had one of the guys on the show one time many years ago. But if you're calling games at App State, you're not Brent Musburger. You're not Kirk Herbstreit and those guys. You got a ways to go to get there. You might eventually be that. Okay? You're not does that make sense? You're not a power program announcer. You might eventually be the best announcer in the history of college football. But that's not who you are at that moment. But to hear those guys, and the Mountaineers are going to pull it off in the big house. Can you imagine being an App State student that day on campus at the dorms? Holy cow. 803-978-1832. Fast-paced, action-packed, rewinding the clock to 2007 here on the show that shakes the Southland. It is Clemson Sports Talk.
Are you ready?
The iHeart Radio Music Festival Capital One cardholder presale is on. Cardholders get access to tickets right now. Tickets on sale to the general public tomorrow at 1 p.m. Go to iHeartRadio.com/Capital One before they sell out.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com. Tigersports.com.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Do you need lodging for your next Tigers game? To get a real game day experience, skip the hotel and stay close to campus in one of Rent Like a Champion's comfortable vacation homes. You can call Rent Like a Champion, a Mark Cuban company featured on ABC's Shark Tank, at 855-BIG-GAME to set up your weekend lodging today. Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
Have you been thinking about sprucing up your yard, debating between pine straw or mulch? Call my friends at Carolina Turfgrass to get your yard looking as great as mine right now. I chose to go with pine straw this year, and it looks incredible. Carolina Turfgrass is conveniently located at 5400 Augusta Road in Lexington, and if you need your order delivered, they can take care of that too. In addition, Carolina Turfgrass carries a wide variety of turfs, including Centipede and Bermuda. For unmatched quality and service, call Carolina Turfgrass, 446-6525. Look for Carolina Turfgrass on Highway 1 in Lexington.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk, your iHeart Radio home for the 2016 College Football National Champion, Clemson Tigers.
Oh, yeah, Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, Lowell, the intern, hanging out with us here this evening. Clemson Tom on the guest line. And, Tom, I know you're a big fan of this program, so you probably listen occasionally before you come on. I don't know if you were listening today or not, but we were diving into the 2007 college football season, a 10-year revisionist history, so to speak, on that 2007 season. There was a lot of interesting things that took place, maybe none, though, bigger than App State going up to Michigan and winning in the Big House. As a fan of the game, as a fan of college football, what was your memory from that day when App State pulled off that incredible victory?
I was living in Gainesville at the time, and my two roommates and I were all watching college football, and it wasn't on – this was before you got like 25 different ESPNs. This is back in the day, you know, when you only had maybe 2, 3 if you paid an extra $50 a month. But it kept going through like the whole thing. You kept getting these crazy updates, and finally it cut to the game, and it showed the block kick, and we're all like, "Oh my god!" Like App State goes into the Big House and beats them. Like that doesn't happen. That's not supposed to happen. I just remember just being like, we were cheering for App State. It was so fun to watch. I just remember that just being like, this is college football.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And I will say this, for people around here, you know, I grew up in the state of South Carolina, and App State being right in the state of North Carolina always seemed like I don't know how to say it, but when it's a regional school, so there was some investment here, but did that investment travel all the way down to the state of Florida simply because of the fact of how big they were by comparison to Michigan?
I think, yeah, just because it was David versus Goliath. It was App State. But see, even a lot of people didn't realize that App State, there for a while, they were extremely good. I think they won 3 national championships in Division II, I believe is what they're in. Or maybe it was 1AA. I don't remember how the divisions were back then. Everything's changed since then. But they won 3 national championships in the division. So they weren't, you know, let's just say a Furman. I mean, even though they played Furman all the time, Furman never really had that great of a team. They weren't a Wofford. But yeah, App State was a great football team back in the day, and they still are. They still recruit really well. They get the guys that work for their system, and if we schedule them, you bet you can't sleep on them, that's for sure.
I'll tell you this, Tom, you got to be a little bit cautious now because back in 1988, Furman did win the Division I, I believe national championship.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, you can win one years ago, but I mean they won 3 back to back to back. That's pretty cool. Just winning one's good, but you know what I mean.
Tom, we're also talking about 2000. Talking about that 2007 season though, Tom. That was just the beginning of some of the crazy things. It was almost like college football was standing on its head. You may recall that teams like Kansas was number 2 in America at one point. Missouri was one of the top-rated teams in the country, and those two teams played a matchup at the end of the year that could have affected the playoff and bowl implications. Also, you had Les Miles and LSU losing 2 games in triple overtime and still winning the national championship. And as we've looked at this season, and SB Nation, I think, is doing a breakdown of it all, it may very well have been just the wildest college football season in the BCS era.
Yeah, and even to think back on that, that was when Louisville would put up like 70 points against every opponent. And I think they lost a few games, but I mean, from just thinking about that whole year, I mean, I didn't think about it until just now, but that definitely was probably one of the craziest seasons in college football. You had Louisville every week putting up 80 points a game, which is unheard of, but in that offense, it worked perfectly. I mean, man, I got to read that article. Link me to that article for SB Nation. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll get Lowell the intern. Hold on, he's chiming in here.
Yeah, it's about 20 or 30 different articles, so you have a lot to read.
I remember from a gambling standpoint, we used to always bet the over against Louisville, and then I think that was the year that Kansas covered every single spread that they had. No matter what happened, they would cover the spread. That was back when you used to bet. You could bet online back in the day like $5.
Yeah, we call that
so we would always
sports investment.
Yeah. Sports investment strategies, yeah. We used to bet like $5, and we'd have like a big game. We put $20 on it. A lot of investments on the weekends we did.
No, listen, you're right about that. That was a high-scoring offense at Louisville, 73-58, 34-35. Now, they lost a lot of games, but they put up a lot of points. You know, the other thing about that, and this wasn't the Bobby Petrino coach team. I think Petrino had since moved on. This was Steve Cragthorpe, who was the coach. But I talked to Petrino at the ACC kickoff about that Louisville franchise and what they once were, and he said, Swanee, we'd play people on every single day of the week. He said, I think we played a game every day of the week but Sunday during my time as during my first run with Louisville.
I think, actually, come to think of it, yeah, that was right when ESPN was flirting around with different game times, trying to get it all together. That was also, if you want to think back, that was right at the beginning of the SEC's huge run. And that was right at the beginning when ESPN started getting in bed with with the SEC a little bit on their hype train for them. So that technically might have been the pinnacle for college football as well as the networks.
Now, Tom, I know you are co-hosting Southern Sports Central once again. You and Richie Altman getting the gang back together. How many weeks now have you guys been up and running over there?
3 weeks. It's going by quick. We're having a lot of fun. But yeah, it's last Tuesdays, Thursdays. I know I'm on your show right now, but they're hosting the show. I got to jump back in when you and I are done. But I made a commitment to you, Lawton, and I love you too much to break that commitment.
Listen to this guy.
Yeah, we're also on Saturday.
Listen, Tom, we can flex you around a little bit if we need to, buddy. We can improve. We're okay. We'll work with your schedule. Look when we get guys with your credibility and your stature, we understand we gotta work with you, buddy.
No, hey, trust me, it is. We worked around it. We planned the whole segment, so I can be on here for 30 minutes. That's not a big deal.
Now that's what I'm. Lowell, how about Tom Lowell? What you think of that? Giving it up for us, giving a little extra juice to Clemson Sports Talk tonight.
That's all in. That's all in.
That's all in. That's all in, Tom. Hey, Tom, man, listen, buddy. We always appreciate you hanging out with us and shooting the breeze. And if you need us to move it to a Wednesday, we can absolutely do that. I'll get in touch with you, and we'll work things out for you guys so you guys can keep churning there on Southern Sports Central.
No worries. Listen, I made a commitment to you. It's not a big deal. We schedule high school coaches to come on when I'm on, so trust me when I say everything's peachy.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Clemson Tom here on the show that shakes the Southland Clemson Sports Talk. Tom, be good, buddy.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
There you go, man. How about that? Let me tell you how you know that a game was pivotal when people know where they were when they watched it. When people remember what they were doing when that game happened, That's how you know. Oh, yeah, I know right where I was. I remember vaguely watching it because Tom's right. It wasn't national TV here in the state of South Carolina either. It was, we're going to cut into, and they cut in and go, App State's hanging with Michigan. And then you finally, they're showing whatever game's on, and they go back, and there's some guy sitting in the studio. Hi, I'm Trevor Maddich here in the studio. We're going to send it out to Ann Arbor, Michigan for the final field goal where the Wolverines are trying to pull out a come-from-behind victory over Appalachian State. Here's the snap. The kick's up. It's blocked. That kick is blocked. The Mountaineers are going to beat the Wolverines at the big house. What a great call. I remember where I was when Mark McGuire broke the home run record. Shaving cream on my face, standing there in my apartment in college, watching that thing play out. And I remember thinking, could there have been a less spectacular home run to break the record? I mean, that thing needed a gust of wind. It was almost so short that it needed Jose Canseco's noggin out there to take it over the top of the fence. 803-978-1832. That would have been fitting considering. Clemson Sports Talk, back after this.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Experience not only our pools, hot tubs, and lazy river, but also our delicious on-site banana boat lounge and cafe, family game room, fitness center, banquet facilities, and much more. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Warm weather means fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, which can endanger your pets. Fleas and ticks can cause life-threatening disease, and mosquitoes transmit heartworms. There are some new, exciting, innovative treatments for the prevention of these parasites. Protect your pet. Consult your local authority, your neighborhood veterinarian. Brought to you by Midland's Veterinary Practice, where we care for the most valuable pets. Yours. Visit us at MidlandsVet.com on Facebook or Twitter. Call us at 750-7387, 750-PETS.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Cottingham Family Dentistry is proud to announce the opening of their new office located at 3722 Devine Street, and they're welcoming new patients. What makes Cottingham Family Dentistry different? It's in the name, family. They will cater to your needs and the dental needs of your children. Cottingham Family Dentistry offers same-day crowns, dental implants, cosmetic dentistry, including whitening, veneers, and tooth-colored fillings, and many other dental services. If you're searching for an amazing dental home, call 776-4234 or stop by their new office at 3722 Devine Street and become a part of the family at Cottingham Family Dentistry.
Tonight, the skies will be mostly clear and the temperatures will drop to the mid-70s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, highs low 90s, and watch out for some scattered late storms. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by Whole Foods Market.
During summer savings at Whole Foods Market, life is just a bowl of cherries, specifically plump, juicy, antioxidant-packed red cherries. Now just $1.99 per pound for limited time only at your local Whole Foods Market.
iHeartRadio wants nothing more than to bring you closer to your favorite artists.
This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
So we've updated the iHeartRadio app. No, it's an upgrade. All your favorite music and stations, easier to find. Getting you closer to the music you love with just a tap.
This is Taylor Momsen from The Pretty Reckless, and this is iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. Download and open the new iHeartRadio app today.
Follow Clemson Sports Talk on Twitter at Clemson Sports. Now more of Clemson Sports Talk. Take it away, Dad.
Just a little bit longer. Please, 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 please.
Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, Lowell the intern, 803-978-1832. Positive Mike chiming in via the Ocean Reef Resort text line. That's 803-450-0086. Says, I gave my 36-inch Sony Curve TV to his house in 2013. It would kill 4 men to move it. This is accurate. Honk your horn right now if you're listening to this show and you got a big 36 or 32-inch TV in your house that you just don't want to move simply because of the size. Now honk if you've debated just taking a sledgehammer and a saw to it and taking it out in pieces. I think we've all been there. Lowell, do you have one of those in your house anywhere? Or have you guys banished those from the house?
We've gotten rid of... we may have one. We may have one big one left.
The other side of that coin is the fact that houses built during that time were built with this monstrosity of a hole in the wall. And it's built for a square TV. So now all these rectangular TVs don't fit in that hole. Like, if you go on Zillow or somewhere and shop for a home right now that was built in 2006, 2007, 2008, you're going to find a big old place to put a TV like that up in the wall that now just it serves no purpose whatsoever. None. 803-978-1832. You know, that 2007 season had a pretty good running back toting the biscuit out with the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Had 2 pretty good running backs on that team.
Felix Jones as well.
Yep.
But McFadden was the guy collegiately for me that was just incredible. Like, there were moments where I thought, man, he might be the best running back I've ever watched personally. I mean, I didn't really get to appreciate Bo Jackson too young. I didn't get to appreciate Herschel Walker. Darren McFadden may have been the best running back I saw. Look, what did he do to South Carolina that night in that matchup between Arkansas and the Gamecocks? I'm fairly certain if that had been a two-hand tag football game, he would have still had the exact same amount of yardage that he had, because I'm not sure at any point in that night a Gamecock laid more than one hand on him. That was something else.
My internet's acting up here, so I'm going to the phone.
Okay. I want to hear how many yards that was. It felt like 397. I felt like he broke some sort of record that night. I don't remember if he did or not, but I felt like he did. In watching that game, every time he touched the ball, I thought, is this real life? Is this really what's happening?
Oh, here we go.
By the way, McFadden's still in the NFL, if you can believe that.
With the Dallas Cowboys. Darren McFadden, 34 carries, 321 yards.
What year is that?
2007.
That was that was the same year. That's perfect. I didn't know that was that same year. That's ridiculous.
What do you mean?
I didn't realize that season was the same season that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
No, I figured it was at some point along that time. I didn't realize that was the exact same year.
No, same year. Well, he did work on them a couple years in a row. Let's see what he did the year before.
Well, I can't imagine it was more than 321.
No. Surprisingly, only one touchdown.
In
rushing.
That 321?
In that 321. Now, he did have a passing touchdown.
How do you rush
1 for 1 for 43 yards and a touchdown passing?
And 321 on the ground? Is that the same year Tim Tebow had like 6 or 7 touchdowns against South Carolina?
Yeah, he had 5 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, Lord.
That year.
And the Gamecocks were number 6 in America.
The year before, 2006, he had 25 carries for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. Average of 8.8 yards a carry. Yeah, he was not good to South Carolina's defense.
That's ridiculous.
By the way, Felix Jones in that 2007 matchup, 13 carries, 166 yards, 3 touchdowns.
166 and 321 is like 580 yards rushing between the two of them? You gotta be kidding. That cannot be right. That's a typo. South Carolina, if you
487 and 4 touchdowns.
487. Okay, that was my math problem then. Thank goodness. Much better it be my math problem live on the air than your defensive struggles on the ground 10 years ago.
I remember them actually, their run defense being the strength of their defense. But, I mean, when you're going against Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, they can make you look a little bit silly.
Mentioning that McFadden is still in the NFL, how about this? Talk about where Clemson's program is now, ladies and gentlemen. How about 44 former Clemson Tigers in NFL camps right now? 44 former Clemson Tigers on NFL rosters. 24 defensive guys, 18 offensive guys, and 2 special teams players. The Tigers right now have 8 wide receivers in the NFL, 7 defensive ends, 6 defensive tackles, 5 corners, 3 safeties, 3 linebackers, 3 running backs, 2 tight ends, 2 tackles, 2 guards, 1 place kicker, 1 punter, 1 quarterback, and a partridge in a pear tree up in the NFL right now for the Clemson Tigers. The most players on the team, that would be your Houston Texans, ladies and gentlemen, with Deshaun Watson and Carlos Watkins joining that crew. At least one former Tiger is on 21 of the 32 teams in the NFL. The Chargers, Jets, Giants, Dolphins, and Chiefs all have 3 Clemson Tiger players apiece. And 9 members of the 2016 National Championship team are on rosters entering camp, including 6 of which were drafted. I believe the oldest is C.J. Spiller, who is in his 8th year now in the NFL with Kansas City, I think. Is he still holding on with KC? I think that's the last place C.J. was. 4 former Tigers are playing in regular season games in the Canadian Football League, including Daquan Bowers, Cresden Butler, Cavell Connor, and Antoine McClain. All 44 Tigers in the NFL rosters played for Dabo Swinney at Clemson. 44 guys in the league, Lowell. 21 out of the 32 teams with Tigers on it. It doesn't seem like all that long ago I turned on the NFL and there was 1 or 2 Clemson guys in the entire league. Now all of a sudden, they're all over the place. This is reminiscent of what it was like for me growing up in the 1980s with William Perry and Donnell Wolford and Levon Kirkland and Brinson Buckner. And these guys were all over the NFL. Everywhere you turned back then, you'd find the Clemson guy. Well, it's getting that way again. It's getting that way in a hurry. 44 former Tigers in the NFL, all of which have come over the past 8 seasons. I mean, that's almost 6 a year from Clemson now getting placed into the NFL. That's a pretty good clip.
Pretty solid.
It's a pretty good clip. Yeah.
Real quick. You know who else was in that backfield, that Arkansas backfield? Peyton Hillis was playing fullback for Arkansas.
There you go. Lowell the intern, hashtag dropping knowledge on the show that shakes the Southland. We'll be right back.
The worldwide phenomenon is back. Our 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet converge in Las Vegas for 2 nights. The iHeart Radio Music Festival Capital One cardholder presale is on. Cardholders, get access to tickets right now. Tickets on sale to the general public tomorrow at 1 p.m. Go to iHeartRadio.com/Capital One before they sell out.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
When I grow up, I want to make a pizza with the most cheese and the most pepperoni at the nation's best price, $6. It's going to be the best pizza ever.
Sorry, kid, it's been done. Introducing the new Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizza, a large pizza with the most cheese and the most pepperoni at the nation's best price.
But my mom said...
Shh! This much cheese and pepperoni is what dreams are made of. Come get a large hot and ready extra most bestest pizza for just $6 only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
At participating locations plus tax.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk, your iHeart Radio home for the Clemson Tigers, winners of the 2017 National Championship game.
Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, Lowell, the intern. Follow that man on Twitter at Lowell the intern. Follow me at Clemson Sports at CST Show. Big goings on in the world of college football as we make our way towards, well, Lowell, just 2 more days of beach music here on the show that shakes the Southland. By the way, we talked about DeCarrion Joyner here on the program yesterday. Well, just a few minutes ago, DeCarrion Joyner apologized for his never lose to Clemson comments. That's right. DeCarrion Joyner on Thursday released a statement that he was misunderstood and that it was not his character to trash talk another team. He said, I apologize for anyone who was offended by my statement I made yesterday. I made a promise to myself. If I wanted to throw shots, I would have directly said it to a fan, player, or Clemson football player. It was completely out of my character to say what I said. Some people took it the wrong way, and that wasn't my intentions. I love this kid, man. I told you I liked this guy yesterday. I didn't mind a little trash talk. He says, I do apologize once again. I'm confident in my future squad. I'm also confident in what I've said. I'm looking forward to competing versus Clemson in the near future. Spurs up, Cocky Nation, we cocky 18. Hey, I had no problem with it.
I don't think he needed to apologize.
I don't think he did either. But I will say this, and I think we can all agree that there are a lot of people that are going to take things completely out of context. And again, I just like the fact that you could run with the fact that, hey, he might be telling you the truth. He might go 0-3, 0-4 against Clemson during this time in Columbia. But as long as he's not the starter at quarterback, he's not lying to you either. So there's a couple of ways to skin that cat, so to speak. But I will say, I think you got to respect the kid who's willing to come out and say, look, man, I was talking about what I said to myself. Like, that doesn't bother me in the least. Do you know what I mean? Do you see the subtle difference there? I don't mind at all.
Well, I mean, that's sort of what Deshaun Watson did, too, with his college coach.
High school coach.
High school coach. Sorry, his college coach, obviously, Dabo Swinney. His high school coach was, his coach was a Clemson fan and basically said, look, coach, I promise you, I'm not going to lose to South Carolina. It's kind of a private conversation that got out after the fact, but it's sort of the same situation.
We've got a texter chiming in via the Ocean Reef Resort text line, talking about that big 2007 32-inch TV. He says, put the TV by the side of the road, rake your yard, cover the TV with leaves and other yard debris. Problem solved. They'll come and scoop up your yard debris and get that television set. Well, I don't know what you do with some of this technology now. You really can't. You really can't take these things anywhere. Nobody wants them anymore. I'm not sure what you do with them. I know this, like DirecTV won't take back their boxes. If you have like a DirecTV box now, and it's an old box, they're like, nah, you keep it. What do you do with it? Put it under your bed? What do you do with that?
I don't have the answer.
No, I Googled it. There are facilities like in certain states that will accept these things, and they'll pay the shipping cost to get the items there.
So you knew the answer and you were holding out.
I just want to see if you knew, Law. It's just a friendly. That's called a tease.
Okay.
That's called a tease. Of course, the Clemson Tiger football team getting set for their practices to get underway next week. Should be a lot of fun. I know Lowell, the intern, and Zach Lentz will have you covered completely. Several scrimmages on our way towards the first day of school for the students up at Clemson, which is August the 23rd, but practices beginning again next week, working their way towards August the 23rd, and Lowell and Zach will be up in Tigertown on the ground with the coverage again. It'll all be over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com, and this is just the beginning of an incredible run for us. And not just us, but how about the Clemson Tigers in a brand new or an extended partnership now with Fanatics in terms of all their merchandise and apparel and sales and everything that they've done now over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Clemson, again, with the brand right now that is so vastly recognized across the country, not just the paw, but it has really become the hill and the rock and all of that has just become synonymous in so many ways with college football. And I can't help but sit here in this time of the year and think back to not all that long ago when we were significantly concerned about the health and well-being and the state of Howard's Rock there at the top of the hill. They've since added additional security measures and features there to protect the rock. But, again, I want to say this because I know there are South Carolina fans who will absolutely call it a doorstopper and all that. They go back to the tradition of the rock and the fact that it actually did hold a door open and Frank Howard said get rid of that thing and they placed it upon the top of the hill and all of that. But I really believe this, that the true fans of college football, the people who just really get college football and can put aside the rivalry to talk about their love for college football, have to have a respect for the rock. Let me tell you, I think South Carolina and cocky coming out of the little magic box is kind of goofy and corny. And I think it's kind of goofy and corny because it really, as I understand it, goes back to their Black Magic days when 1984, fire ant defense and all that. The reason I think it doesn't match up now is because they don't talk about Black Magic anymore. And when they did that, that's kind of what they were talking about. But I like when they play their fight song. When they start hitting 2001 A Space Odyssey in that stadium, there's something to that. And even though Cocky's still doing his Black Magic trick from way back when, the music in that moment is still cool for me. It's still part of college football. You don't have to like South Carolina to appreciate a moment like that in the game. When it's a night game in Williams-Brice and that song hits and they're getting ready to come out, it's a pretty neat moment. It's pretty cool. When Chief Osceola rides out to the middle of the field at Doak Campbell and spikes that spear into the ground, that's incredible. When Tiger, the Eagle, is flying around Jordan-Hare Stadium and swoops down into the middle of the field, and the fans are going, "Whoa, Eagle!" Awesome. When Ralphie, the Buffalo, runs from one side of the stadium to the other, that's cool. I can appreciate all of those things. I don't have to like those teams. I don't even have to have pulled for those teams. But the moments are really cool. And for anybody that would damage the rock, for anybody that would poison the Toomer's Oaks trees, I mean, you got bigger issues if that's your MO. If that's what what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal a rock. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and vandalize Williams-Brice Stadium. I mean, who's doing that? You know what I mean? Like, the people that are doing that have bigger issues than college football. So don't lump everybody in to the people that do that. But certainly the Hill, the Rock, Death Valley, those things are so marketable still for Clemson's athletic department and very marketable to the Clemson Tiger fans. 803-978-1832, the number you can text us via the Ocean Reef Resort text line. Anytime, any day you want, you can hit us up over there. I take those texts on the weekend as well. Lawton Swan, Lowell the Intern, the Thursday edition of the show that shakes the Southland. Lowell, we knew after the ACC kickoff kind of came and went, and then the SEC media days were done, and the Big 12 and the Big 10's getting into it this week, and got the Pac-12 and all that coming up. We knew we were going to hit a little bit of a lull in the sports coverage and the topics and things that are going on, and we have, but you're not that far off from fall camp beginning. As a matter of fact, Baylor today had their first fall practice. So college football, ladies and gentlemen, is right around the bend, and so is hour number 2. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman-Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Do you want a pharmacy that treats you like a person and not just a number? Then let Craig and Lori at Southlake Drug show you what a pharmacy should be. Fast, friendly, and professional. Southlake Drug can transfer your prescriptions and take the hassle out of getting your medicine and getting you on your way. Southlake Drug takes all major insurance programs, including Medicare, Medicaid, and state employees, and they provide immunization services, including flu shots with no wait and no appointment. Southlake Drug, 1856 Southlake Drive in the Food Line Shopping Center, 399-7701, or southlakedrug.com.
Hurry in. For a limited time, get big savings on automotive batteries while they're hot. Visit AutoZone today for hot deals on the parts and supplies you need. While heat causes battery fluid to evaporate, which could damage your battery, Duralast batteries are designed to beat the heat, tested to start your car at up to 167 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now, you'll get a $20 AutoZone gift card by mail-in rebate when you buy select automotive batteries. Let's get you what you need. Restrictions and details apply. Limit 2.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members, of their families or their children, asking them to deploy, patrol, stay on watch, on point, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to bring them all the way home, to keep them secure, to have their backs for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs do whatever it takes to help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Find out how you can help at findwwp.org.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't give a bother to do it. I got one milestone down the drain, and now I got to work on the next. I see the future is really bright for me. I feel like it doesn't matter the age, as long as you go back and get it done. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
No one gets a diploma alone. You have more support than you realize. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
From the E.F. Martin Heating and Air Studios, this is Fox Sports Radio 1400. WCOS Columbia. Available anywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app.
Fox
sports trending now.
We begin in the National Football League, where Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco is dealing with a back issue. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh said today he expects Flacco to miss a week, but an NFL Network report says that Flacco could miss 3 to 6 weeks. So if the Ravens are looking to add an arm, which Harbaugh says they are, it could come in the form of Colin Kaepernick.
He's a guy right now that's being talked about. We'll just see what happens with that. I think it'll all be speculation right now, but I think he's a really good football player. And as I said at the owners' meetings, I do believe he'll be playing in the National Football League this year.
In a piece with the Uninterrupted, Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. says that not only does he want to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL, he wants to be the highest paid player in the National Football League. The Washington Nationals today hit 8 home runs in dropping the Brewers 15-2. Indians have won 7 straight, beating the Angels 2-1. Mo Spates is signed to deal with the Orlando Magic. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set.
Just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. Best primetime right here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Lawton Swan, Lowell the Intern. Follow him on Twitter at Lowell the Intern. My buddy Caleb chiming into the program as well tonight via the Ocean Reef Resort text line. We've been talking a little Tigers. We've been talking a little Gamecocks. A little DeCarrion Joyner back in the news today. Yesterday it was about his statement that he would never lose to Clemson as a starter. Today he has apologized for those comments, saying he didn't mean to offend anybody. As we said yesterday, no real problem with the statement. I kind of like the fact that he's man enough to stand up and say, you know what? If I made somebody upset, I apologize. Caleb sends me a picture of a new curtain they should use for that, for Cocky's little magic trick. It's it says, I want to believe. It's got a little unicorn on it. He says, the magic shower may wash away 56-7. I don't know if that's how it works, Caleb, but I do appreciate you being a part of the program. Lowell, before we get into one other thing and look back at 2007 a little bit further here on the program tonight, let's get back into this DeCarrion Joyner thing briefly here. I thought his statement that he made about apologizing was as good as anything you could expect, and probably better than anything I could have come up with if I was a senior in high school or heading into my senior year in high school. DeCarrion, you didn't need to apologize. You have the right to believe whatever you want to believe, and that's fine. I think the best part of apologizing for a kid in his scenario is when you waltz on the campus, Clemson fans are going to hold you accountable to that statement. And in fairness, they probably still are, even though you've asked to be forgiven for saying it. But, I mean, what's a kid to do? And I think Zach made this point well yesterday here on the program. What do you want a college kid to say? I look forward to being crushed by Clemson during my 4 seasons in Columbia. Spurs up. Of course not. I want my kids to believe. I want my players to believe. I want the people that are on my team to believe that, you know what, when I'm there, we're good. We got this. When I'm there, we're going to shock the world. I mean, if he comes out and says, I hope during my time in Columbia we can at least beat Clemson once, now that's a story. That's a real story. And we certainly had fun with his story yesterday, and I really had more fun with the fact that you can agree with him, but yet he could still be wrong. Or technically not. You can go, yeah, you're right. You're never going to lose to Clemson as the starting quarterback at South Carolina. But you're also never going to beat Clemson either. And that could be a factual statement. So we had a little fun with that yesterday, but in terms of the statement that I just read a few moments ago before we went to break, I thought it was well done. I mean, I don't know if he wrote it himself. I don't know if he had consultation with his head coach. I thought it was well done. And if I'm a South Carolina fan, Am I disappointed that he's backed off of those statements? No, not at all. You know what I'm happy about and proud of? That I've got a young man who can put together the type of apology that he just released. Nobody at Clemson has ever once said anything, that would make you feel like DeCarrion Joyner is not a good guy. And anytime you're around him, nobody's ever come to me and said, you know what? That DeCarrion Joyner, Swanee, he's a kid that's just, he's got an attitude or whatever. You know what I mean? Guys who were there covering it, everybody's had nothing to say but good things about him. And so I think also, given the fact that John Simpson's his former teammate, and the kind of guy that John Simpson is, you get the vibe that they're good buddies nonetheless. And one of my good high school friends, a guy who's a year older than me, Joey Still, is the offensive line coach down there at Fort Dorchester, and has nothing but good things to say about DeCarrion Joyner in terms of who he is, his character. I like the apology. You didn't have to do it, but I like it. I like that you're willing to do it, and I like the things he had to say. If I'm a South Carolina Gamecock, you know what I heard in that statement? Maturity beyond his years. Maturity beyond his years. And if you're Clemson, you know what you might want to be scared of about DeCarrion Joyner? Maturity beyond his years. The fact that this is a kid who has the wherewithal and the personal self-awareness to apologize for a statement and apologize in a way that put him in a very positive light. You know what you wouldn't have to fear? If DeCarrion Joyner had tweeted again, yeah, I said it, and you're gonna see. Now at that point you might go, whoa. So the kid's being, hit a little bit on social media for something he tweeted, and then he's owning it, but not in a respectful manner. All I heard was a respectful young man. All I heard was a young man that's confident in himself. Is that not what we ask our children to be? Is that not what we ask our students to be? Is that not what we want the individuals who we surround ourselves with to be? Confident. I mean, what do we say to kids all the time? Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who's going to? DeCarrion Joyner, good for you. I don't think you're going undefeated against Clemson in your time in Columbia, but good for you because you're handling it the right way. And I don't have a problem with your first statement, and I loved your apology. Lowell, the intern, sitting across from me. What do you think about DK saying, you know what? I didn't mean to offend anybody. And basically just apologizing for the whole incident.
Part of me wishes he hadn't apologized.
Had not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the side of you that wants Clemson to keep that chip on their shoulder.
Well, no. Yeah, I guess you can kind of look at it in this light. He kind of gets the best of both worlds now.
Yeah.
He gets to be confident. He gets to be the confident guy, the guy who's not afraid to speak out and say, I'm gonna beat the national champs. I'm not gonna lose to him in my time in Columbia.
As the starting quarterback.
You
need to throw that in there.
Yeah. You also get to be the guy who, is confident without going over the edge. And that's kind of what he got some of that. He kind of poured himself back from cocky into confident territory with the apology.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get to be respectful, but you also get to kind of talk a little bit of trash.
Again, here is what Joyner had to say today. I apologize for anyone who was offended by the statement I made yesterday. I made a promise to myself. If I wanted to throw shots, I would directly say it to a fan, player, or Clemson football player. It was completely out of my character to say what I said. Now, see, that's the only part in this whole apology I don't like, because I don't think it's outside of your character to think that you're going to beat a team when you're there. As a matter of fact, as an athlete, I want you to believe that. And he goes on to say, some people took it the wrong way, and that wasn't my intentions. I do apologize again. I'm confident in my future squad. I'm also confident in what I said. I'm looking forward to competing versus Clemson in the near future. I like it. I really do. I really like what he had to say. That makes me more I'll tell you this. I'm more fearful of Dakereon Joyner today than I was yesterday. I'm more concerned that he's actually got what it takes to beat Clemson today than I was yesterday. Now, he may not beat Clemson. He may never be the starting quarterback. But I get a bigger vibe that this is a guy who understands it. And if you watch Deshaun Watson during his time at Clemson, he was a guy who understood it. Just a different thing about some players. Dakereon Joyner is a dual-threat quarterback. He's going to put the ball in his hands and make plays with it. Got another year of high school to mature and get better physically. Come into Columbia, maybe redshirt a year, and then maybe the keys to this program will be his. I'm more fearful after hearing his apology than I was with the initial statement. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832 is the number. The hashtag on Twitter, CST Show. Before we get back to 2007, a little 10-year revisionist history. You said to me yesterday, Lowell, you said, Swanee, do you remember when Mike Leach was a name that was being thrown around for the head coaching job at Clemson? And I said, yeah, I'm glad it didn't work out because he's a Lulu bird. Here's Mike Leach today in speaking with members of the media. There's Peyton Pueller over there. I think that's how you say his name. Peller? Something like that. Anyway, there's Peyton Peller over there. He's got the samurai hairdo going. Middle linebacker. Great player. And then there's Jamal Morrow, running back. And he continues to walk away, very disinterested. And a very versatile running back. Does a tremendous job. Very consistent out there. Two quality players getting their degrees in basically everything that my parents wish I was. Okay, go ahead. Questions? So, that's Mike Leach in a nutshell. He's a little bit different. All right, the question was asked to Mike Leach, do you think it's fair that the SEC has 4 non-conference games with one of them usually in November when most of the rest of the country, I think they nicknamed it the Cupcake Wars, where most of the country is in rivalry games and in the meat of their conference schedule? Mike Leach, I think it's a very smart move by the SEC, and I think it's a lesson that we can all learn from the SEC. I think that there is a lot of kind of figurative muscle flexing that goes on with in regard to how many conference games and who plays who and who they play non-conference, and all this chest beating is kind of, well, it's overrated. I think it's important to win your conference. I think that's a result of that. And I think the SEC laughs all the way to the bank. And I think other conferences would be able to laugh a little louder if we learned some of those things. So, Mike Leach, he's just, listen, remember when you had that Band-Aid on your arm back in the day, your mom would say, just rip the Band-Aid off. Well, when they created Mike Leach, they ripped the Band-Aid off because you just never know quite what you're going to get from Coach Leach. 803-978-1832 if you want to be a part of the program. We would love to have you here on the show that shakes the Southland. Lowell, 2007 was littered with upsets. We talked about some of them earlier in the show. But other major upsets that many people may have forgotten about, first and foremost, you might remember that West Virginia team that was so close to being in the BCS went into their Orange Bowl matchup against an Oklahoma team who was rated number 3 in the country, and nobody thought that West Virginia would be able to play with Oklahoma that season at all. Nobody bought into them. I would say it was about like, a couple of years ago when Clemson waltzed into that game against Oklahoma with Cole Stout and the Tigers waxed them 40-6. West Virginia beat a number 3 ranked Oklahoma team 48-28. Shocking the world, really. And that was just one of the major upsets that went down that season. We mentioned Kentucky triple overtime over LSU, 43-37. That LSU team, again, lost 2 games 10 years ago in triple overtime and still played for the national title. Lowell the intern, but maybe the biggest of all and the one that shook up the world the most in 2007 was probably Oklahoma beating a number 1 ranked Missouri. Because in all honesty, that Missouri team wins that game, done. They're in. They're in it to win it. And LSU is not getting to the college football playoff, to the BCS. It's not happening. But Missouri let their guard down and got throttled by 21 points, 38-17 in that matchup against Oklahoma. Other big surprising takeaways. I know we talked Michigan and App State earlier. Any other ones that jumped off the table at you?
Yeah. How about Nick Saban and Nick Saban's first year with Alabama?
Oh, yeah. I know where this is going.
Playing at home against Sun Belt team Louisiana Monroe, dropping that game 21-14. If I recall, they had something like 5-6 turnovers in that game. Very sloppy ball game. Louisiana Monroe comes in and knocks off Alabama.
No, that's one I remember when that happened, because for Alabama, when they brought Nick Saban in, the belief was this was going to be the instant cure and the fix-all, the magic elixir, so to speak. And it's worked, but it did not work that first season as well as they had hoped. The following season, though, 2008, when he opened up with Clemson, poured a little coffee all over the Clemson Tigers. And really, that game for me, how Clemson fans, you look back at Clemson LSU in the Georgia Dome, 24-23, 4th and 16, all of that as kind of being the moment that you recognized that Clemson was going to be something, that the Tigers were maybe going to find their way to be a lasting program. I think for Alabama fans, this run under Nick Saban probably started with the way they beat that top 10 ranked Clemson team in the opener in 2008. That was virtually just a domination from the start. You want to know the difference in 2017 Clemson and 2008 Clemson? Go look in the trenches in those games.
How about this one? Stanford playing Southern Cal. Some books had USC as a 41.5-point favorite. I think the line ended at 39. Stanford beat Southern Cal, ended their 35-game home winning streak. Jim Harbaugh, head coach at Stanford at the time.
Wow.
And that kind of started Stanford's rise back in the college football world.
Let's see. So that loss that I just mentioned with Missouri is a weird one. With Missouri and Oklahoma back in 2007, because that was in the Big 12 championship game. And ultimately what ends up happening is the team who didn't play in the Big 12, Kansas, passed Missouri in the rankings and then got awarded the chance to go to the Orange Bowl, where they defeated Virginia Tech. Yeah, Kansas won the Orange Bowl. You heard that right. Kansas won the Orange Bowl in 2007.
That's an upset in itself.
In our crazy season of college football. We return in 3.
The worldwide phenomenon is back. Our 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet converge in Las Vegas for 2 nights. The iHeart Radio Music Festival Capital One cardholder presale is on. Cardholders, get access to tickets right now. Tickets on sale to the general public tomorrow at 1 p.m. Go to iHeartRadio.com/Capital One before they sell out.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Looking for South Carolina's favorite country? You'll find it at 97.5 WCOS.
I'm a girl watcher. I'm a girl watcher. Watching girls go by. My. I'm a girl watcher.
Lawton Swan, Lowell the intern here. Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio 1400, the iHeart Radio app, live on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. The Gildan Charleston Classic basketball tournament set for November 16th, 17th, and 19th at the TD Arena in Charleston has released their brackets. Auburn and Indiana State. Lowell, who's the most notable player to ever play at Indiana State? Oh,
I know this one.
Oh, boy.
I know this one.
Oh, boy.
You're going to have to give me time.
The Sycamores of Indiana State. Who's the greatest basketball player to ever play at Indiana State? Man.
I know it.
This is showing his age, ladies and gentlemen.
I know this one, though.
Do you want the answer? Okay, let me rephrase the question. Who's the greatest white guy to ever play basketball in the NBA?
Oh, Larry Bird. I knew that one. Golly.
Man, between you and Zach the past 2 days, I've had a blast.
Golly. I did know it. I knew it. I just needed I need you to throw his whiteness in there.
His whiteness in there. I thought saying Indiana State would whiten it up a little bit. At the Sycamores.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to whiten that one up as much as I can. How fantastic is that? Oh, my goodness. Speaking of yesterday's program, that was wild. And we had some folks chiming in like Bent Zero. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think. He said, I'm dying over here. Wow, 2 days. Awesome. Love it. So, game one, back to the previously scheduled topic. The Gildan Charleston Classic, again, November 16th, 17th, and 19th. Auburn and Indiana State on Thursday, November the 16th at 11:30. Old Dominion and Temple Thursday at 2 p.m. Clemson and Ohio will play Thursday at 5 p.m. on ESPN2. And Dayton will play Hofstra at 7:30 on November the 16th. On the 17th, the winners of the Clemson-Ohio game and the Dayton-Hofstra game would play at 9:30 that following day. The losers would play at 7. And then the championship of the Gildan Charleston Classic will be held on Sunday, November the 19th at 9:30. So basketball galore going on down in Charleston as Auburn, Indiana State, Old Dominion, Temple, Clemson, Ohio, Dayton, and Hofstra all play in the Gildan Charleston Classic tournament. Lowell the intern, Clemson again, playing Ohio State. ESPN2 seems like a must-win year for Brad Brownell and this Clemson Tiger men's basketball team. We know during the offseason they added Antonio Reynolds-Dean. Oddly enough, Reynolds-Dean coming down from a situation at his alma mater. This is the thing that gives me a sliver of hope for Brad Brownell in 2017. Antonio Reynolds-Dean leaves his alma mater, where he was a star player. He leaves a team as an assistant coach that was just in the NCAA tournament to come to Clemson to coach alongside Brad Brownell, who I don't want to call him a lame duck coach, but you get the vibe if Clemson does not have a season where they get into the NCAA tournament, that it is his final year. It does seem weird that you would leave what I think would be a fairly steady position at Rhode Island unless you really believe that Clemson might be on the brink of doing something good. Unless you really believe that your services could be the thing to push Clemson over the top. I don't know if that'll be the case, but I think you have to at least examine that, because if I'm going to take a job, if I'm leaving a place where I am comfortable, if I'm leaving a place where I am known, and I've had a track record of success, I don't think I'm leaving that to go somewhere where it could be just a 365-day deal basically for me. I'm not willing to move my family. I'm not willing to uproot myself in the comforts of where I am for the risk of coming to Clemson unless I believe in it. And so that gives you, I think, some hope, just given the fact that a guy like Antonio Reynolds-Dean, Coach Dean, looked at the Clemson situation and said, hey, this is a place where I can go. Now, I don't know what he was making there at Rhode Island. He's probably making more at Clemson. I would think Clemson's budget's greater than Rhode Island's in terms of basketball salaries. But this is a guy who played at Rhode Island. He's not just a random coach who happens to be at Rhode Island. He is a Ram. He graduated a Ram. He put on the uniform of the Rams. I would be hard-pressed to leave Clemson to go anywhere as a head coach or as an assistant coach. 803-978-1832. Clemson and Ohio U, November 16th, 5 p.m., ESPNU. They're screaming Larry Bird, the best ever. Couldn't jump, slow as sand, and an ugly shot. Could score, defend, and rebound with anybody. Anybody, Lowell. Come on, Lowell.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Poll question.
I knew it.
Poll question. Worse. Zach's pronunciation of Obi-Wan
Now hang on now.
Kenobi.
Now hang on now. Zach knew nothing. I at least knew it. I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah, good point. You couldn't get. So it was one of those. It's like in the back of you're going, oh come on, I know this one. It's like when we play the trivia question here sometimes, and you're asking me questions. I'm like, man, I know this, and then you'll say the answer, and I'm like, how did I not? How did I not get that one right? I'll tell you what we'll do, Lowell. We won't tell a soul about it. We'll just keep the fact that you didn't know Larry Bird between the two of us.
Stop.
I will not mention it again here on the show that shakes the Southland. Speaking of 2007, that was an article that came out. There was an article that came out called October 20th, 2007, the day the South Carolina Gamecocks' dream football season died. And this was talking about South Carolina, who was 6-1 at the time. Their lone loss had been to LSU. They had beaten Georgia on the road. The Gamecocks with Steve Spurrier, I think it's his third year maybe. Lots of momentum. People are feeling good about the program. They were, I think, ranked number, 12 in the country, and then continued to move up, eventually finding themselves at number 6 in America. They're taking on a terrible, just awful Vanderbilt team in Columbia. It's an early kickoff, though. The Gamecock fans show up. They pack the stadium. And they proceed to watch their team lay an incredible egg.
Well, even before that Vanderbilt game, you could kind of see South Carolina start to come apart a little bit at the seams the week before against North Carolina. I remember watching that game. They were up something like 21-0, 21-3 at the half, and then they didn't score again in the second half. They ended up winning that game 21-15. And so you could see it kind of start to come apart against North Carolina, and then they just collapsed against Vanderbilt.
They had gone 7-5 in Spurrier's first year, 8-5 with a Liberty Bowl victory the following season. And then 2007 was here. Third year in Columbia. Got Blake Mitchell and Chris Smelley, these quarterbacks going back and forth. They struggled early on in the season against Louisiana Lafayette. They were up 14-0 and let them get back in the game. We'll tell you what happened, though, in that matchup against Vandy for the Gamecocks in that crazy 2007 season right after this.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? Cut to order at Kaufman's Meat Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care. Attention, anyone who's suffering from lower back pain. Right now, HealthSource is offering our listeners an absolutely free back pain consultation on a first-come, first-served basis by calling 803-218-9047. Our doctors can find the root cause of your lower back pain and show you how to get well fast and stay well longer. No more pain, no more feeling worn out. Essentially, no more not feeling like yourself. Call 803-218-9047.
From two men and a truck, movers who care. Tonight, the skies will be mostly clear and the temperatures will dip to the mid-70s. Tomorrow, sunny and warm, highs low 90s with some scattered late storms. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report brought to you by CEI Transport at 844 Hall CEI. CEI is hiring Class A CDL drivers with 2 years experience. $1,500 sign-on bonus. Home every night. Full benefits with bonuses, 401k, and health insurance. Call now, 844 Hall CEI. That's 844 HAUL CEI.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show now at 978-1832 or text 803-450-0086.
Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, LOWELL, the intern in the building hanging out with us. having a good time. Looking back at that 2007 season, it was not without heartbreak for the Tigers either. One of the reasons the name Matt Ryan continues to resonate in the thoughts and minds of Clemson Tiger fans. I can still see that bad boy rolling out. Boy, it seemed like he had forever. Brent Venables wouldn't have given him the time to throw that football down the field for the touchdown. Believe me, there would have been a linebacker in his grill. He'd have thought David Dunham got his hands on him again. Oh, baby. How about that hit from 2005? Wasn't that 05 when David Dunham lit him up?
Hit the first time Matt Ryan came to Death Valley.
Ooh.
First time Clemson played BC, if I recall.
Ooh. Not ever.
Well, when they joined the ACC.
Ooh. Man, that hits a GIF somewhere out there. You find you a GIF generator and look for big hit. That one will show up.
You know, there was one of those articles that SB Nation posted. And I know we're kind of getting off topic from South Carolina season real quick, but was about Central Michigan that year. I did not realize how much star power Central Michigan had on that roster. By the way, I don't know if you remember this or not. Dan Lefevre, quarterback for Central Michigan, talking trash before that Clemson game that Clemson ended up winning 70-14. But there was some star power on that Central Michigan roster. Most notably, Antonio Brown, who is now arguably one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
Sure.
J.J. Watt was a freshman playing tight end for Central Michigan for the Chippewas. Frank Zombo, who is now a linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Dan Lefevre, who spent some time in the NFL and then the CFL. And then Josh Gordy, who had a NFL career. So they had some names.
I can't believe J.J. Watt was on that team. So J.J. Watt.
I think he left after that year and walked on at Wisconsin.
But he played in Death Valley. Did he play in the game?
I believe he did.
Are you
I will go find the box score.
That's insane.
J.J. Watt had one catch for 14 yards.
You got to be joking.
He did play in that game.
Dude, I would have if you would have asked me on my life, did J.J. Watt play Clemson in Death Valley? I would have told you not only no, but you're out of your ever-loving mind.
He was not anybody. He was, I think, a 2-star recruit that went to Central Michigan, played 1 year at Central Michigan.
I didn't even realize he had gone to Central Michigan.
He gave up his scholarship at Central Michigan to walk on as a defensive end at Wisconsin. And now he's the best defensive end in the NFL. Talk about a success story.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a hashtag dude, huh? All right, let's go back to the South Carolina game against Vandy real quick because this was the thing. South Carolina was 6-1. Like you mentioned, they had just beaten North Carolina. They had a tough schedule ahead of them. They still had to play Clemson and Florida State. I mean, Clemson and Florida and Tennessee, which were traditionally pretty tough games for them during those years. But Vanderbilt was not a good ball club, as you all well know. South Carolina, though, just melts down in this game, especially offensively, where you begin to wonder if Steve Spurrier's switching back and forth between Blake Mitchell and Chris Smelly affected those guys at all. The Commodores got out to a 3-0 lead off of a field goal. South Carolina fumbles the ensuing kick return. Vanderbilt gets the ball again. They end up scoring a touchdown to go up, 10-0, I think, in that game pretty early on. Then they score another touchdown before the end of the quarter. It's 17-0 Vandy against the number 6 ranked team in the country. And you know at that moment, heading into the second quarter, South Carolina fans are as nervous as they could possibly be. Now, here's the thing that happens. Vandy doesn't score anymore. Okay? The Commodores do not score again in this game. So now you've got 3 quarters left to play. You're down 17-0. If I told you, South Carolina, you're not giving up any more points, even though you're down 17-0, you're probably feeling pretty good about that. Well, South Carolina will move the ball down the field, get in field goal range. Ryan Suckup, one of the best kickers in America, somehow ends up missing some field goals. Carolina puts it in reverse. They get great field position. All of a sudden, they get penalties that force them to back up. They turn the ball over. A couple of interceptions from both quarterbacks are throwing picks all over the field. South Carolina had one situation, Lowell, at one point where they forced a 3-and-out. This was in the second quarter. Captain Munderland returns the kick 46 yards. They're at the 17-yard line. 17-yard line. False start. They get to 4th and 2. Try to go for it. Don't get it. And so, they instead of going for it, they kick a field goal and get to, I think, 6 points. So they're down 17-6 at the half. Still, you're feeling pretty good, right? You got 2 halves of football left. Oh, no. Just ineptitude offensively the rest of that game for Carolina. I mean, as crazy as 2007 was for the world of college football, I'm not sure for South Carolina fans going back and watching that game isn't just as frustrating as it was when it happened, because that's a Vanderbilt team that was not very good, and South Carolina's offense looked horrific. Absolutely horrific. 803-978-1832 is the number. 803-978-1832. And the hashtag on Twitter is always CST Show. Lowell, the intern, giving us a little J.J. Watt video in the Valley. A little reception action there. Lowell, you've got the video of it posted?
Yeah. It was a nice catch and run by J.J. Watt there.
David, he was like, did he actually play?
Shook a tackle. Ran over another guy.
All right, I'm watching it now. Central Michigan drops back. J.J. Watt. Who tackles him? Oh, he almost scored, actually.
He did. That nice little move there to shake the first
tackle. He almost scored. All right, so they take the snap at the 20. They hit Watt at about the 17. Breaks. Oh, man, who missed that tackle on him? I bet they have no idea that guy would be the future freakazoid in the NFL.
You can see the athleticism, though, as a tight end.
You know what else I'm noticing about 2007? Non-high-definition games.
Oh, yeah.
This is rough on the eyes. My son, Mason, we went to my sister's house, and he was looking at her TV. He's like, what's wrong with your picture? It's all grainy. She does have high def, but the channel she had on was not high def. I think non-high definition is like when I was a kid and you watch something in black and white. Who misses that tackle? I can't even see that number. Dude, that is horrible. I can't believe I watched this.
Let me see if I can see it.
Dude, if you...
Is that 44?
I have no idea. How'd you find this video of J.J. Watt? Is that his only career reception or something?
I looked up J.J. Watt, Central Michigan. It was the first link on YouTube.
45 pushes him. Whoever 45 was for Clemson in 2007 pushes him.
That was 44 who misses that tackle. So we'll have to go back and look at the roster and see who 44 is.
44 whiffs. 38 gets him out of bounds. All right, there we go. 2007. I want to know who was this that took down J.J. Watt in Death Valley, and how much money is that kid making a day? Stay with us.
The worldwide phenomenon is back. Our 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet converge in Las Vegas for 2 nights. The iHeart Radio Music Festival Capital One cardholder presale is on. Cardholders, get access to tickets right now. Tickets on sale to the general public tomorrow at 1 p.m. Go to iHeartRadio.com/Capital One before they sell out.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, Dad, You're the best father ever. I was like, what makes you say that, son? He said, when I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore. Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again. Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan. With quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
When I grow up, I want to make a pizza with the most cheese and the most pepperoni at the nation's best price, $6. It's going to be the best pizza ever.
Sorry, kid, it's been done. Introducing the new Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizza. A large pizza with the most cheese and the most pepperoni at the nation's best price.
But my mom said...
Shh! This much cheese and pepperoni is what dreams are made of. Come get a large hot and ready Extra Most Bestest Pizza for just $6, only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
At participating locations plus tax.
Hi, my name is Donald Kidwell, current owner of CrossFit Iron Mary's. After finding CrossFit in 2012, I lost 128 pounds. At CrossFit Iron Mary's, you're not a barcode, you're an actual person. Where you are now is not important. Where you want to be is. 3 locations to reach your fitness goals in Columbia: the Old Mill in Lexington, Trotter Road in West Columbia, and downtown near the Carolina Baseball Stadium. Check us out online at CrossFitIronMarys.com or give us a call at 803-414-9601. Set up your first set of free classes today at CrossFit Iron Mary's, 803-414-9601.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, Lowell the intern. 2007 retrospective. Clemson versus Central Michigan. J.J. Watt with a reception. We think we have narrowed down who the people were that were making the tackling. After hearing some of the names, I'm surprised our team won, 9 games that year? Give us a rundown, Lowell. Who was the
one who missed the tackle, 44, that was Scotty Cooper, who left football in 2010 because of a neck injury, I remember.
I remember Scotty Cooper, but I don't remember much. Let's just say there aren't a lot of Scotty Cooper highlights that I'm going back to watch, believe me.
He actually went to the military, so good for him.
There's probably a reason that C.J. Spiller had a ton of plays that went for over 80 yards, but we lost those games. Because when we started looking at the defense, I'm like, well, that guy don't remember really playing a whole lot.
All right, the 2 guys who made the tackle or pushed him out of bounds, because let's be honest, they did not tackle J.J. Watt on that play.
I'm disappointed that Watt stepped out. He should have finished the play. I don't know why he wanted to be all James Quick, all 2016 James Quick.
He tried to run over number 38, who was Chris Chancellor. I know you remember that name.
I do. Is Chancellor still in the league?
He may be.
I think he just got cut or something.
He may still be.
I'll take a look. I'll take a look on that front. I'll let you know on that.
His Wikipedia says former.
Okay, who was the other?
The other one was... who did I say it was? Give me 1 second.
Chancellor wrapped his career up in 2011, apparently.
Courtney Vincent.
Okay.
Or I do remember Courtney.
I do too, vaguely, but none of those guys stand out significantly to me at this point, which may tell you all you need to know about Clemson's defense back then. 803-978-1832. So J.J. Watt, yes, played in Death Valley. Well, that would have been a great trivia question, Lowell. We could have given away something, but it's a yes or no. Did J.J. Watt play? Or you could say no, because people would then Google it and see who he played for. I'm not sure.
Surprised they didn't throw to him more than one time.
Well, you got me thinking, is he the best player that's played in Death Valley the past 10 years?
Matt Ryan's pretty good.
Who's the best player that's played in Death Valley the past 10 years?
I have to go back and look at some schedules.
Well, I'm just trying to think off the cuff, like guys that we've seen in there. I mean, Clowney was one, but he's not it. Watt's obviously better than Clowney.
Who all was on that too? Julio Jones. Oh, that wasn't Death Valley.
Yeah, in Death Valley.
Death Valley.
Who's the best player? I mean, Watt's. Can I ask you this? Is Matt Ryan the best quarter? And maybe this doesn't really matter. Is Watt the best defender in the league when he's healthy?
Yes, he's the of any defensive player, he has the biggest impact when he's healthy.
And I would almost argue that I know the value of Matt Ryan is higher because the ball's in his hand more frequently and this, that, and the other. But if you had to start a franchise, would you pick Matt Ryan or J.J. Watt? I tend to go J.J. Watt because I feel like there are more great quarterbacks out there than there are just tremendously athletic defensive players.
True.
I feel like because his position is so influential in the game defensively, if you have an end like J.J. Watt, you can win some incredible, or you're going to win games because of his incredible play. And you're going to do the same with Matt Ryan, but I think they're better quarterbacks than Matt Ryan. I think there are absolutely better quarterbacks than Matt Ryan out there. I'm trying to think back, man. It's amazing how 10 years.
Jameis Winston?
Well, I was going to say Winston. I could also go with Deshaun Watson, maybe. But that'll depend on what he does in the NFL. The best guy you ever saw play in Death Valley. The fact that a lot of us saw J.J. Watt is ridiculous because I never would have guessed that in a million years that he was on that team. Like, if that was the question, who's the best player in the NFL that you saw play against Clemson in Death Valley? I don't think anybody would have ever said J.J. Watt. I don't think anybody even knew he was on that Central Michigan team. I'm still stunned.
Well, and on that same Central Michigan team, you have Antonio Brown.
I'm more stunned, Lowell, at that fact than I was that you couldn't come up with Larry Bird's name.
Arguably, two of the top players in the NFL played against Clemson on one day. Antonio Brown and J.J. Watt.
Nobody would even know who they played for, if you ask.
Well, actually, I want to see what Antonio Brown did. 6 catches for 40 yards.
Pretty good.
Solid.
I mean, 6 rep when you're a smaller school and
one carry for -4.
You're not supposed to compete at that level. This is a good one. Deion Sanders. Now that wouldn't go in this 10-year window, but Deion would certainly be one of those. I mean, I saw Deion play in Death Valley, but if we had to do the 10-year window, that's a different story. This is a great topic, though. Next week, maybe this is something we can run with. Who's the best player you've seen in Death Valley in the past 10 years? Who's the best player you've seen in Death Valley ever? That comes to us from Coach Mike. Deion's pretty good. Really, really good. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832 is the number here on the show that shakes the Southland. I'm trying to see who's on the line, but I can't see it because I got a J.J. Watt video up in front of me here that Lowell the intern posted. Okay, here we go. I got it, Lowell. Don't worry, buddy. I'm with you. Doug. What's going on, Doug?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Swanee? One of your resident Gamecock listeners. I love your show. Well, there's lots of ways to qualify it, like best players that played in Death Valley who are awesome now within the last 10 years, best players who were the best then within the 10-year window, and that's what I'm calling about. Easily Deshaun Watson, easily Sammy Watkins, no question about it. J.J. Watt and Antonio Brown, which I did not know before y'all pointing that out. Yeah, but were they all that in college? I don't remember ever seeing them mentioned on SportsCenter. I mean, that's a function of their college, but
I can't say Antonio Brown was good in college. I can't say that.
Yeah. Hey, Doug, man, look, say that again.
No, I don't know if Antonio Brown was good in college or not. I've never heard of him before he got
I hear you. Listen, Doug, hey, thank you for peeking over the fence, man. I really appreciate all our Gamecock listeners.
Yeah, man.
Unfortunately, we're up against the top of the hour and the end of the program, but call us back anytime, man. It's always good chatting with you. There we go. Lowell, the intern, Lawton Swan. We got to hit the road until tomorrow. As always, y'all take care now. And go Tigers!
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan. With quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com. Lawton Swan here, and I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
There are 2 things